we're going to be taking a peek into the mindset of the small business owner this morning. Whether you're a small business owner yourself, or if you work at a company that deals with small business owners, we hope that you'll gain some interesting insights into what's on small business owners' minds in 2012 and what those insights could mean to you. My name is Rhonda Kokot, and I myself am a small business owner. I own a creative agency in Chicago called Simple Truth. We employ 26 creative people, strategists, designers, writers, interactive experts. We help our clients uncover what lies at the heart of their brand, which we call their simple truth, and design ways to connect that with key customers, audiences, and shareholders. So being a creative agency called Simple Truth, we by nature are curious people. We constantly ask ourselves questions and search for answers that give meaning to the work that we do for our clients. So we created something called Simple Truth Uncovers, which is a thought lab designed to tap into ideas that we can all learn from. For our most recent Simple Truth Uncovers, we set out to explore the mindset of the small business owner. We wanted to find out what's on their minds, how they're looking at and dealing with the world around them today, and what's on the horizon for them next. Joining me today are two people from Simple Truth who spearheaded the research that we did, and they're going to present those findings to you. So first is Paul Milinsky. Hello. Paul has over 10 years of research experience working at large national advertising agencies. He has a unique blend of consumer research and strategic knowledge gained from experience in working with clients such as Allstate, Honda, Kraft, and Procter & Gamble. As a highly innovative thinker with a background in both qualitative and quantitative research, Paul offers our clients a fresh perspective and new ways of discovering rich consumer insights. Also joining me this morning is Brea Malloy. Brea has been with Simple Truth for over 7 years. With a bachelor's degree in graphic design and a master's in integrated marketing communications, Brea strives to balance good design and solid strategy to develop integrated cross-media creative solutions. She's led creative development and brand articulation for a diverse set of Simple Truth clients, including Allstate, Avalon Bay, Wheels, Rush University, and Sunrise Senior Living. In addition to her work at Simple Truth, Brea also teaches graphic design at Dominican University in River Forest and volunteers as a mentor with Peak and Holy Trinity High Schools. So Paul and Brea are going to take us through the findings now that highlight 6 key takes on small businesses and offer insights and ideas about what this means to you. After they present the findings, we'd love to open it up for questions and also, hear any thinking that you might have on small business on this topic and any ideas you might want to share. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Rhonda, for the introduction. As a small business ourselves, like Rhonda was saying, we've been sort of keenly aware of the rapid changes taking place in the world around us, especially everything that's gone on with the economy. And as we started to navigate that landscape, it really got us wondering what other small businesses were doing, how are they changing, how are they adapting. And so we began a conversation with entrepreneurs to really try and uncover their perspective as they look at where they are now and where they want to go. So as Rhonda mentioned, whether you're a small business owner and you're looking to learn from other businesses like yourself, or if you're hoping to target or partner or work with small business owners, it is really critical to understand how they're looking at the changes around them and transitioning into what's next.
So for our research, we wanted to do a couple different research methods. We wanted to talk to people face to face. So we ended up talking to over 10 small business owners across the country. These were a couple hour-long interviews, really in-depth. We really probed with these people about what's going on with you, your business, kind of your mindset. And then we wanted to do an online survey of small business owners. So we spoke with over 100 small business owners on a survey over the course of, I think it was about a 2-week period. These business owners had up to $25 million in revenue. They currently owned a business and they were located in the United States. And we spoke with people from a wide range of industries. We had retail shop owners to people in IT services to people even in the design realm like yourself. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is, we had a lot of insights from our research. So me and Brea are going to take you through really 6 key takeaways or learnings. Hopefully that'll be insightful for you. And then at the end, we're going to kind of walk you through how you can leverage these insights. So the first major insight we had was really around the idea of innovation. From our research, we learned that in the past, small business owners really felt that innovation meant developing new products and services. But now, people in our survey said innovation really is about thinking in more adaptive and resourceful ways. Actually, one of the small business owners we spoke with, he was from the IT services industry. He said the economy has affected his business in every way possible. Actually, he had to be stronger because he's had to evolve his business in the way he thinks about his customers. He's actually had to do more with less, which actually made his business more efficient and more resilient in the end. So we asked people in our survey, you know, are you being less innovative right now in 2012, or are you being more innovative? And as you can see, 87% of our participants said they're being more innovative. So then we asked this 87%, well, how so? So a majority of our respondents said the #1 way they're being innovative is by offering creative solutions to existing problems, followed closely by adapting to change in the marketplace. And then as you can see, only 44% said they're being innovative by operational efficiencies. And this is what we talked about. In the past, it used to be about new product offerings, and now only 42% said that's how they're being innovative. So there's definitely been a shift in how they see innovation. But regardless, many small business owners said that the economy has affected their business in the way they think about innovation, but they still recognize that in innovating to solve problems and be more efficient is only going to help their business be stronger, faster, and more resilient.
So the second take that uncovered, or that surfaced, was that small business owners really admire companies that know who they are confident enough to lead with that, and create real responsiveness around it. So this take really was about learning about what types of companies small business owners are admiring. You know, who do they want to work with? Who do they want to partner with? And then even more specifically, what attributes, specific qualities are they actually looking for? And what we learned is that the #1, the most important thing, is listening and responding to customers' needs. And as we interviewed people, not surprisingly, when we asked them what types of companies or what specific companies they admired, Apple came up over and over again. And this didn't surprise us, but what we did find interesting was in talking to one specific individual, he mentioned, or he explained, that he felt Apple was remarkable because their ears pick up the sound waves of customers that others simply cannot hear. And so I think what was interesting about that is he was really tapping into something beyond what Apple's typically praised for, you know, their great design, their simple interface. He really tapped into the fact that Apple truly understands their audience better than anyone else out there. And so they really are living up to this notion of listening and responding to customers' needs that small businesses are responding to. And then the other 2 key attributes that small business owners were admiring are knowing who you are and providing a consistent experience, which those 2 things actually go pretty much hand in hand. So the takeaway here is that small business owners really are respecting brands that are confident and have a strong vision point. And that clear sense of purpose really does naturally facilitate that level of consistency that in turn creates a more consistent brand in the marketplace.
So the next thing I want to talk about is called personality traits. One of the things we went in with our survey trying to understand is, how do small business owners talk about themselves? Do they consider themselves small business owners, and what does that mean? Or do you actually consider themselves as entrepreneurs, and what does that mean? So from our research, we learned that small business owners are really people that get involved in the day-to-day function of their business. It's the nuts and bolts, it's the nitty-gritty. They're really getting in there and running their business day-to-day. And we also learned from our research, so that entrepreneurs are more attributed with those that have the vision and the passion and the drive behind their business. So in fielding our research, we wanted to understand, well, small business owners, you know, how do you describe yourself? What are those words you're using to describe yourselves? And what was interesting is actually was a combination of both small business owner attributes and entrepreneur attributes. They said, I'm hardworking, but yet I'm also creative. It's important to understand that I'm a multitasker, but that doesn't mean that I'm not ambitious. And they also said, you know, I'm persistent, but I'm also a big dreamer. So I think when doing this research, it was interesting that we learned that when talking to small business owners, you kind of got to understand that they see themselves as both. You know, the day-to-day, they're getting in there and actually running their business, but in the end, this is their baby. This, you know, it's their drive, it's their ambition, it's their vision. So it's just interesting that they always see their 2 worlds combining together.
take 4 was that small business owners tend to invest time and money into the marketing tactics they know, but they also recognize the importance of seeing the big picture. And so as we talked to them and as we got into these interviews, we really found that marketing was an area that a lot of small business owners struggled with. And this was generally one of the reasons was that it's just outside their area of expertise. So most small business owners really know their business, their particular industry, you know, what they've kind of been focusing on. And even though they're focused on their particular industry, they do recognize and see the importance that marketing is going to have to their success. And another reason that they cited as marketing being particularly challenging is that it's dynamic and ever-changing. So as we asked them, you know, what types of things are you planning on investing in from a marketing perspective this year? They really did mention things like website, social media, PR, email. So they really were recognizing, you know, the value and importance of some of the newer digital tactics. But at the same time, when we spoke to them, they have some real challenges in understanding them, and there's some real learning curves going on. So they're really hoping to understand is how can they leverage these new digital tactics in combination with some of the stuff they've been traditionally doing. So as we kind of heard that, we really see one of the biggest opportunity areas for small business owners is this marketing integration. One person that we spoke with specifically talked about how not having an overall marketing strategy or kind of that big picture really, he felt, kept him from getting in front of people. So it really held him back. And so overall, what we feel like small business owners were telling us is that they really want to understand how they can leverage these new digital media tactics, but in combination with the traditional marketing things that they're already doing in order to create a more integrated and consistent experience for their customers.
Okay, so moving right along, the next thing I'm going to talk about really is the idea of partnership and what that means. Most of the participants in our study that we interviewed said that partnering with outside resources is a top priority for really 2 main reasons. One is it's going to extend their reach, and number 2, it's going to allow them to do what they do best. In fact, over 95% of the participants in our study said they are more interested in forging meaningful relationships rather than trying to be on their own, all things to all people. 64% also said that building strategic partnerships was a key priority for their business in 2012. I think this idea about partnerships is really interesting, but the more interesting part of it is that small business owners were saying it's not necessarily that I need a partner, but I need a trusted partner. I need someone who not only knows me, knows my business, and knows my customer, but I need someone who's just going to be there for me, that I can rely on, so they can help me in the areas that I need help in, and then I can do the areas that I'm focused on and I know best. That way I don't have to try to be everything to everybody.
Our final take was that having adapted to changing times, small business owners today have a positive outlook, and they're ready to move forward. In fact, 84% of them were optimistic, so it was really overwhelmingly so. And this is something that kind of, as we've talked about all 6 takes, it's come through in some way or another. But overall, what we discovered is that the recent economic climate has forced small business owners to be realistic, but with that realism, they've kind of gained perspective. And so while they're cautious, because they've had some ups and some downs, and they know that there will still be some bumps in the road, they have an overarching sense of optimism moving into this year.
Okay, that was a lot we just took you through in about 5 minutes. So now I guess the most important thing here is we just took you through some of the insights. There was a lot of insights we learned, but these were kind of like the 6 major ones that we discovered. But now we know what we want to do is try to leverage that for you. We know some of you in the audience may be small business owners yourself. Some of you in the audience may be actually targeting small business owners. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through, if you are a small business owner, here's some things to keep in mind that we learned from our study. And then Brea is going to take you through, if you're targeting small business owners, here's some leverageable insights you can use. So for me, I'm going to be taking you through the small business owner insights right now and what to do with them. The first thing really is innovation. Most small business owners said that the #1 way they're being innovative this year is by offering creative solutions to existing problems. So if you're a small business owner in the audience, what you might want to be asking yourself is, how is your business adapting? How are you going to do things differently? And how are you being resourceful? And how are you going to do more business with fewer resources? I think in the end, what the answer is it's going to lie in efficiency, because when you're more efficient, what that means is your business is going to be smarter, stronger, and more resilient. The second thing, if you're a small business owner, is just kind of around the idea of admiration. Brea talked about brands that small businesses are admiring. So what you should be doing is think of the brands or companies out there that you really admire and why. You know, ask yourself, what is at the heart of their brand? What is their simple truth? What are they doing that you're responding to? Find those things that you respect and admire and try to emulate them, but try not to copy them. What you want to do is put your own unique spin on it by remaining true to who you are and what your brand stands for. Finally, the idea of working together. Think about how you can better integrate all your marketing efforts. How is PR, maybe social media, maybe event marketing, direct mail, how do all these things work together? And you know, when thinking about that, you may need to realize that you may not have all the right questions, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You may not know everything, and bringing in the right strategic partners is only going to benefit you. Because when all your marketing efforts come together and make sense, the end result is going to be a unified and consistent experience, not only for your brand, but for your customers as well. And finally, stay optimistic. Brea talked about optimism in 2012. Everyone in our study said they are really optimistic about this year. There's a ton of opportunity out there. Go and get it. Don't be afraid to set big goals, because in the end, optimism is going to breed innovation for your business, and innovation is only going to breed growth.
So if you are going to be targeting small business owners or hoping to partner with them, we wanted to also think about some of the key takeaways from this research for you. And I think overwhelmingly the major takeaway is just that now is really a great time to reach out to them, and to reach out to them by demonstrating the value your company can bring to their business. So everything we've talked about has really been kind of leading up to the fact that this is a great time to reach out to them. Reasons like, you know, as Paul talked about, they have become super efficient. They've cut costs, and at this point, they're really, for the most part, operating from a tremendous position of strength. So they really are able to take advantage of opportunities that you present them with, especially if they're right for their business. Additionally, partnerships, as we talked about, they really are open to partnerships. They are focused on the core of their business, on what they do, and they don't want to be all things to all people. So what they really are looking for the right partners to help them reach out to their customers and offer new things. They also are recognizing that the right partners can help them network and get in front of new audiences. So there's really a lot that the right partners can bring to them, and they are keenly aware of that. And then finally, as we've kind of talked about, optimism. So they are optimistic, and they seem very ready to seize any kind of new opportunity, again, that feels right for their business. And so if you are planning on reaching out to small business owners, wanted to also talk about just a couple of things to keep in mind when you do that. And the key thing being listening, and then customizing your offering based on what you hear. So kind of as we said earlier, small business owners really are respecting companies that listen and respond to their customers' needs. So a cookie cutter approach isn't really going to work. So really think about your pitch and your presentation, and how you can listen to what they're saying, what their needs are, what their pain points are, and customize your offering and your approach to them. And they're going to be a lot more likely to respond to that. And then finally, balancing your presentation with both kind of the day-to-day realities and the big picture aspirations. So again, as we talked about, you know, they are wearing two hats. They describe themselves as being small business owners focused on kind of the day-to-day nuts and bolts of things, and entrepreneurs, really aspirational, big picture dreamer. And so they're going to be a lot more likely to respond to those that really understand all of the hats that they're wearing simultaneously and deliver a pitch that responds to that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll open it up for questions and comments in just a minute, but I wanted to share, you know, as a small business ourselves, as I said, when I looked at the findings of this research, I was really pretty interested to see that we were actually employing some of these strategies with some success. We really have 4 main strategies for growing our business. The first is that we respond to things that just come into us via RFP. We also have long relationships with our clients, so we try to build those relationships. The third is that we are really growing partnerships with other businesses to help bring us into opportunities, and then we bring them into similar opportunities. And then the fourth is targeting clients. So I think that, you know, being able to see that this strategy has been successful for us, it's really the one that we're focusing on in 2012, is where we're putting our marketing dollars, where we're putting our time and our energies, is really around growing partnerships. The other thing I think is the insight around do you see yourself as a small business owner or as an entrepreneur? I would describe myself as a small business owner, and I would describe my partners, there's 2 others in the business with me, as the entrepreneurs. So I see them as having the vision and the focus for where we want to go, and I'm the one, well, I'm the managing director, so I'm the one that's in the weeds every day, kind of dealing with the operations. But we both get to switch hats every once in a while, and it's kind of fun to see both of those personality traits in each of us. So I don't know if anyone has any comments or questions for us. We'd be happy to talk more.
Sure, our screening criteria. Yeah, really the only criteria we had is they had to be located in the United States, had to have, they had to currently own the business, and they had to have a revenue range up to $25 million was the cap. So that's kind of how we identify the small business owners.
And it was either a single sole proprietorship, or
Yes.
they could have multiple employees,
Yes,
a
they
single
could have
person or
multiple
multiple employees.
Great.
Anything else? You can find the full study, The Simple Truth Uncovers the Mind of the Small Business Owner, at our website, and there's a URL up here on the screen, yoursimpletruth/small business. So thanks for joining
Thank
us
you
this
very
morning.
much.
Hope
Thank you.
you got something good out of it.